It's so dark this morning. Woke up and it is like pitch black outside. And it's now like 8 o'clock. And I'm like, do I have to put a light on in here? Well, just to vlog and then we'll turn the light off. We are back at it again, ladies and gentlemen. We've had an unproductive past couple of days. Obviously we went back to Nottingham, didn't do anything over the weekend. Yesterday was chilling out with Laura. Laura had the day off, so didn't do any work then either. And like last week, the tail end of last week was unproductive. Only I really had I had a productive start to last week, but I didn't have a productive thingy. So it's really important today that we make the most of as much time as we possibly can. Outside, it is miserable AF. So I've not gone for my morning walk. I am gonna have to go out to go in. We haven't been shopping yet. We're gonna go shopping tonight instead of, we normally go last Monday night. We're gonna go tonight instead. So I need to go to the shop today just to pick up some essentials effectively, because we're gonna run out. But otherwise, today is all about just get back into the swing of it, get as much work done as possible. Doesn't really matter what type of work it is, just get some work done to get back into the swing. I do have a couple of emails I need to send today, but they're more like chaser emails. But effectively, I have a clean to-do list. I do need to start, like I said, I need to do a little bit more work to. I need to do lots of different types of work. I've got lots I've got to do, is what I'm saying, and I need to get back into the swing of doing lots of stuff. But for now, it's more important to get into the swing of it than it is to actually do all of that work, if that makes sense. So my first priority is I'm gonna dive into programming, and I'm gonna try and get my programming. I was doing a tiny little bit over the weekend. I need to get it off of this computer onto Atlas. So I need to get to that point, and then we can swing into it, boys. Like I say, get some goddamn work done. This week is just gonna be, it's just hammering it down all week. It is pelting it down outside. And tomorrow we've got the boiler man coming, and they've got to do something about this chimney. And it's gonna be very wet. I feel like we might have to block up that chimney, because I think we're gonna have to have another chimney instead. Come on, why does Kaspersky control updates to Google Backup and Backup? Like Google Drive. Why is Kaspersky like, yo, this needs updating? Like, Google should be updating that, not you. Anyway, I'm programming away. I'm living the dream over here, boys. I'm just being frugal. I kind of want some juice. I've got water. I kind of want some squash juice. But I know I've only got enough juice for like one glass. And it's hammering it down. So I don't want to go to the shop until it's dried up. Is it going to dry up at any point today, or am I just going to have to go? I really need to get like a waterproof coat. God, so many notifications. Like a waterproof coat that isn't a winter coat. That's my problem. I need like a cagoule or something stupid like that, you know. Dies down this afternoon apparently, but. Like I say, we might call our bluff around lunchtime. We might have to just go. God damn it. We are back on the swing of it, ladies and gentlemen. This is like the first. I created this microservice last week, I think, early last week. But effectively, fuck me, it's bouncing down, boys. But effectively, all it's been up until now has just been like a saga. It's just been an empty saga. So effectively. It was just like one project, a test project that effectively had one class in it with a couple of methods on it, happy days. Now I've got to go through the whole thing of setting up the domain objects and doing all of that, and it's just like, it's one of the things where it's like, where do you start? Because you're like, oh, before I do that, I need to have that done. Before I do that, I need to have that done, etc. And it's just like, right, okay, let's do that. You got to remember all the threads that you tie them all together. But now I've got this all set up, I'll throw in my automation tests, and then that will be able to prove it for me that it works. Blimey, man, this rain, dog. It was so hot on Saturday, it was cooking Saturday. Well, saying that, we were up north, so it might have been different down here, but it was so hot. And then Sunday, it rained on and off in Nottingham, but down here it was fine apparently. And now today it's just torrential. And then people across the road have had some washing out on their line for well, they had it out yesterday when we got back, and it's still out now. It's definitely not dry, dog. But yeah, I'm thinking smash through this code. I've got a couple of email, effectively chaser emails I need to send today. Just 2 of them. So I think I'm going to effectively just smash through as much of this programming as I can. If I start to lose steam, then I'll switch task. But effectively just like program, just all the way programming. After lunch, send out those chaser emails and then get back into programming again until I lose steam. And then tomorrow, I should have this like whole thing kind of plumbed in. And then tomorrow we can start playing around with more stuff and doing different things. Tomorrow's gonna be it's gonna be a bit of an odd one because we've got people here doing the boiler, so I'm like not sure. I'm doubting it's gonna be productive because I'm gonna be upstairs kind of like half working because people are here, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna try and leave tomorrow open for things that aren't necessarily the programming, i.e. like aren't things that you want to sit and have 2.5 hours of just solid writing code for. But yeah, I think that works out as a kind of plan. Also, Laura's had a cold over the weekend, and I'm getting it now. And I'm not looking forward to the prospect of having to work from home with a cold. You know, like I was never the kind of person to call in sick if I was like ill. Like I know people who are calling sick if they've got like a cold, and I've only ever called in sick when I had like tonsillitis or like food poisoning. Effectively, like you know when you're just like. I can't even move out of the house because having said that, when I was ill at the weekend, I was like going to bed because I had a really bad headache and I was trying to sleep it off. I'd taken painkillers and I'm like, I feel really queasy, like I'm going to be sick. But it's all right because the toilet's next door. If we're ill, it's a long way to go to our toilet. Just thought about that. But yeah, like, so I wouldn't go in if, I only wouldn't go in if I was like effectively vomiting, right? But like, there's times where you go in, you're like, God, I feel like absolute dog shit. But I don't feel incapable of working, you know? I feel like that equation gets flipped a little bit when you work from home. Because, like, maybe it's better to just take a day off sick leave and just kind of do odd stuff, you know what I mean? Rather than trying to just power through it. I don't know. I feel like that's a balance that I'm going to struggle to hit. I think I'm not looking forward to having to sit in my own office and like force myself to work when I'm like not well, you know. But yeah, I can feel that it's starting, so looking forward to that. All right then, boys and girls, it's lunchtime. I am gonna get into it. I'm just spinning up the. I've done all of the integration except for the mediator request handler. I'm now going and creating the automation tests so that I know that everything I've plumbed in this far and therefore the new thing will work. It's always better to write your tests before it works rather than after, because you don't know whether or not your tests are good if you write it and it passes and you were expecting it to pass, if that makes sense. You should always prove that the test works by making sure that you write it when it doesn't work. When the code doesn't work, when the code shouldn't pass, sorry, rather than waiting for writing the test once the code works, getting a green tick and being like, oh, cool, that test now, make sure that thing works. Because that doesn't make sense at all, you know? You don't know that for a fact, that if it didn't work, that test would pass. Yeah? You know what I'm saying? But, gonna go to the shop. Gonna go buy some sugar and some squash juice, and then I'm gonna come back here, have some lunch, and then get back down into it. So yeah, it's been a good day. It's been nice and productive so far. I've been thoroughly enjoying it. I have skillfully dodged the rain, and you know what I'm excited for? Last night we had Chinese takeaway, which means today, your boy has Chinese takeaway leftovers for lunch. Oh yeah. The temperature has really kicked up a notch. In the office. I'm feeling like I might go for a walk. I missed my morning walk because it was raining. I'm feeling like I'm starting to drop off the I'm starting to lose productivity just a tad, and I feel like it might be better off. I've kind of written the end of my automation tests, fired off all my emails, and I've got to the point where I'm like, oh yeah, I need to initialize that saga and I'll do all this other stuff. So I feel like I might go out for a little walk. God, it's so hot in here. I've got the window open and the blind down to try and protect myself a bit. One of the things Microsoft, released .NET Core 3.0 today, which is exciting. I've been waiting for it to go proper release. I've played with it very, very briefly. What am I looking for? Played with it very, very briefly while I was in like a Docker container, but not overly, just because I wanted to try to play around with like new versions of C# and whatnot. And I'm excited to migrate everything. I've been waiting, to be honest with you, for version 3 so that I could. There are some problems with one of my security services, and I'm like, there's no point me going to the latest version of this. I think that's still on version 2. I'm like, there's no point me moving to 2.2 or 2.1 or 2.2 because I know 2.3 is coming. So I'm gonna have to roll through my microservices and update them all at some point, which is gonna be a hoot. 18 degrees, holy shit. That's short weather, boys. I'm gonna pop some shorts on, go for a walk. Maybe that'll help me feel my throat a little bit as well. Get some fresh air. And then we can come back, do some work. Laura's not going to be late back. She normally gets late back on a Tuesday, but she's not going to be late back today. We've got shopping to go to and whatnot. So I'm going for my walk a little bit earlier so that I can then go get back a little bit earlier, do some work a little bit earlier so that I can stop a little bit earlier to go shopping a little bit earlier, etc. But yeah, I'm definitely making the most of this sun. On the grounds that it's supposed to be raining all week, and it was supposed to be raining all afternoon, to be honest with you. So we're making most of it, lad. Might listen to a podcast on the way around as well. I kind of wish I had my headphones that I wear for my when I listen to podcasts on walks and stuff. I really like them. I love them. But when it's hot, my ears get hot because it's like obviously the temperature's hot, so I'm hot in general. And then it just like it's not a problem in it when it's cooler, when it's like like medium to cold, you know. I don't think I've ever tried it when it's like desperately cold, but yeah, so it does get a bit uncomfortable. I kind of wish I had like some kind of better in-ear ones, I guess. I'm trying to put my socks on and talk to you at the same time. But yeah, I'm on a spending ban. To be honest with you, I live the cheapest life possible these days. I literally pay the bills for the house, and that is basically about it, boys. So, right, let's go. Oh, I'm hot already, man. As I'm trying to leave the house there, I get a telephone call from my current favourite company in the world, LG. And they're going to call me back in about an hour. I wasn't expecting them to call me in the first place, but they're going to call me back in about an hour. I'll tell you more about this tomorrow. Sorry, I was getting... There's a call... The company that we're getting to do the boiler, they've got a company car just parked outside the house. I'm like, is he going to come here? But he's just gone to a different house. So right, so I'm popping out now. She said she's going to call me back before 6. So I think that gives me enough time to have a quick walk around the block. She's going to go and play around with some of the TVs they've got in the office to see if they can replicate my issue. Like I say, I'll tell you more about it. I've kicked off to them on the phone yesterday, and I've recontacted John Lewis to get the TV replaced under warranty. So I'll talk about it in a bit. I really don't know why I've got this habit of putting things down. I pick things up and then put it down in somewhere randomly distributed around the house. It's like kind of a mental challenge to myself, trying to find it again later. Drives me up the goddamn wall. Just come back and I've got off the phone from my favourite company, LG. LG make my TV. We bought this TV literally a year ago today. We bought it when we moved into this house because our previous TV, that is our TV there. Our previous TV is this tiny little TV here, and it's a little dinker this boy is, and we needed to make sure that we wanted to get a TV that was actually worth having a living room, you know? So we upgraded from I think that's 32 inch to 50 inch in here, and it's beautiful. I love it. I love this TV, to be honest with you. I get slightly annoyed at the backlight, how it tries to correct for darkness and turn itself off. That's quite annoying, but apart from that, it's fine. A couple of months ago though, so we were using it fine. A couple of months ago, it kind of changed the way that it worked. We used to cast YouTube videos to it, so you get your phone, a bit like a Chromecast. You get your phone, you just fucking cast whatever you want to it. Or say you're in here and you want to cast something to it via Netflix, you do that. You just
pick up Netflix on your phone, press the cast button. You say you're watching it on your phone, you're like, oh, put it on TV, press the cast button, bang, it's on there. That kind of stopped working. So for a long time, we were just using the remote to do it. And then the YouTube app itself also lets you link a YouTube account, which allows you to do that kind of control as well. So like we found workarounds for it. But then yesterday I was here on my own. Well, no, I was here with Laura. And I'm like, I'm getting fucking bored of this. So I like went through all the settings, tried to figure out what was wrong with it, went on some forums online, and then just contacted them. I'm like, yo, what's going on? They told me a load of crap. I called them literally three times. First time they told me to reset it, do a factory reset. The second time they told me that it's probably to do with wireless interference. And I'm like, that's bullshit. And they suggested I take it somewhere where there wasn't any wireless signals. And I'm like, how am I going to connect it to the internet if there's no wireless signals? And they were like, yeah, not much you can do about that. Right, okay, cool. So I rung them again, and they then told me that what they'd done was, which apparently, I know, yeah. So what they told me was that they had updated the software to stop that functionality happening because they had complaints from customers who were worried about security because people were able to just cast things to it. So I could with it off, I could cast a YouTube video to it. It would turn it on, open the YouTube app and play. Same with Netflix, same with Now TV and all that kind of stuff. So supposedly, this guy told me that people would come around to their house, they'd let them go on their Wi-Fi, and then their neighbour could cast to it, and they didn't like that. So they took the functionality away. To which point I was like, well, I bought this TV on the grounds that it could do that. That is literally one of the reasons I bought this TV. I mean, it's arguably not true, because all of the TVs let you do it. If you bought a Sony, it would let you do it. If you bought a Samsung, it would let you do it. If you buy, well, main brands anyway, I don't know about other brands. But I bought this TV because I wanted to be able to control it from the Google Assistant, which I can, and Chromecast. I wanted it built in. I didn't want to have a special HDMI port with a Chromecast in it, you know? So I was like, that's ridiculous. Well, I want it replaced. I want it replaced because you've sold it me on the grounds that it does something, and it doesn't do it anymore. And they were like, there's nothing we can do about that. We're just a technical support team. Because under your purchasing rights, if it doesn't fit the, if it's not sold as described, you have 5 years or 6 years, depending on what it is, to replace it under the same scheme. But if you're if it's like 4 years, you can only get something like 30% off of the original price. So it like scales. So I know what I'm doing. And then I tweeted them and I'm like, look, who do I get in contact with to lodge an official complaint? And they got back to me today on Twitter, and we've been talking, and then they rung me, and then it turns out that there actually might be a hardware fault in it. So maybe what they told me initially was a bit of a lie. I don't know. So they're going to lodge it all, and they're going to book it in for a repair, at which point we'll be without a TV for a little bit, but it's manageable. But yeah, like I say, the year warranty literally runs out today. And it was lucky that like yesterday was the day that I didn't realise that the warranty ran out like now. I would have thought we bought it closer to when we moved into this house. Which was like, we've been here like way over a year now. So yeah, we must have had a smaller TV for much longer than I'd remember. But so in short, they've got in my good books a little bit more now, because they're actually doing something about it. So good stuff. Otherwise, I was going to have to go through John Lewis's warranty, which is much better in general than a manufacturer's warranty. But yeah, so happy days. Also, like I've definitely got this cold because my throat feels like just dog shit right now. We had lots of TV to watch tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So we went shopping, got back. We watched, well, Laura watched Bake Off, watched The Capture, which was banging, as per. That's a really good programme. Wait for that to come on Netflix, watch it. And then watched the first episode of The Circle. Laura went to bed. It's going to be good. Calling it now. Tim wins. I called it last year, maybe not out loud, but in my head, I called it. I think I called it to Laura, that Alex would win. Tim's going to win this year. Easy. Right, it's time for bed. Tomorrow's video is probably going to be quite short because there's someone else going to be in the house all day. So we'll just roll into it, boys.
We are trying to get as much work done as possible. The guy downstairs is really nice, so at least he's not weird.
I think something to do with the way that I'm typing makes my little finger hurt. It's like really achy, you know? Ah, god damn it, man. Cool, that last chunk of work is now done. I'm thinking on an unproductive day like this, I might try and write a test harness for putting messages on the message bus, because that'll be handy. And .NET Core 3.0 is out now, so I might try and do it in a .NET Core web forms rather than a fucking MVC thing that I've tried to do with before. And ladies and gentlemen, my boy the friend is gone. Just been tidying up a little bit. Bam! We got ourselves a little boiler, boys. Oh yeah. So yeah, new boiler. It turns hot water, cold water, hot really quick. That pipe is a bit annoying, but it could be worse. The existing pipe there isn't up to current regs, so we had to get a new pipe, which unfortunately had to go that way. But it's looking good. It's looking good, and you know what? It fucking heats up water like no man's business. It's way quicker than the old one was, and it's way quieter too, so I am fucking pumped for that. But yeah, man, just like, oh, cold water, cold water, cold water, hot water. Oh my god, and you can barely even hear it. Fucking hell. Hot immediately. Listen to how quiet that is compared to the old one. I'm well pumped. Also, it should be like significantly more heat efficient as well, energy efficient. So compared to the old one, which is good too. Cool beans. Right then, your boy has had a really unproductive day. I've sent out 2 emails. I finished a chunk of work, but it's just not like I don't deserve any credit for that because it's basically already done. What I'm thinking is I might go for my walk. Oh, it's about time I go for my walk. Anyway, it's only 4 o'clock. I might go for my walk and like come back and get back into it again. My back's a bit fucked. It's got this. Otherwise, I'm trying to, and I want to figure out how I can best do the Wi-Fi in this house, because the problem is that effectively we have 2 Wi-Fi routers. One that's like here, and one that's like there. So we don't actually get that much coverage that way. And I guess I should try and move that one somewhere else, like into my office or something, and that might give us better coverage to the back of the house. Because effectively the problem is everyone connects to that one, because with the exception of like the Xbox and the TV, that's the closest one, you know? But yeah, it's like I kind of want the one downstairs to be in here, but it means rerouting everything. It's not feasible. But yeah, right, happy birthday. I'm gonna go for my walk, and then we can do some work tonight. I think Laura's got a lot of work to do tonight as well, so we'll get lots of work done later on in the day instead of not in the day. But yeah, we've definitely got to do some like decorating around. We're gonna box in this thing, most likely, I assume, and then we're thinking about getting a cupboard thing. We're kind of unsure about whether to use a cupboard, put a cupboard thing, because like it's a useful space. It's not like we don't use that corner, you know? Personally, I'm not too affronted by the exposed pipe aesthetic, you know? So, with the exception of the flue, which is ridiculous. But cool. I'm gonna put some headphones on and go for a walk. When they tested it, they put the heat on. I'm like, fuck, it's hot in here, man. It was like on just max effectively. And that fucker kicks out some heat. There's no way the old one was that like hot, you know? But it's saying that it is summer. Who puts heat on in summer? So is it gonna rain? The sad thing about the boiler is it's remarkable how like the novelty wears off, you know? Ran a bowl of hot water and it didn't take forever to wait for it to get warm, and it didn't overheat because when we were filling it up. That's a good thing. Otherwise it's about it, isn't it? FML. Since the factory reset on this thing, there's some like default settings that I need to change back. Do my absolute nutting. It's a bit of a reoccurring theme, I'm aware. Just got to find the bloody TV remote, boys. Did I turn that off properly? Yeah, I think so. But tomorrow, Oh god, we got to get back on to productivity. Today, obviously, was somewhat distracted with plumber people coming and going, stuff getting delivered and taken away, and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, I finished off that piece of work. I've done the code review. There's like a couple of things I just want to change. The first of which being that I want to actually run it, because I haven't run it. I've just run the automation tests. And to do that, I'm thinking I'm throwing together a test harness to put messages on the bus. So I was going to play around with doing one in .NET Core 3 web forms, but yeah, I'm not sure. I'm probably gonna have a hit at that tomorrow. I don't want to spend too long on it because it's obviously slowing me down, but it's going to save me time in the future. So I'm just going to throw one together, I think. I wrote one before that was a MVC, but it was going to RabbitMQ. This is going to Azure Service Bus. I don't think I could just use Mass Transit, unfortunately, but we'll find out. I might be able to use Mass Transit. Who knows? But I'm going to end this video. Yep. I'll catch you later.